What's up, guys? Another episode of Off the Schneid here. Today we're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their draft needs heading into the 2021 NFL Draft post-free agency. First massive glaring hole is at running back. I think the Steelers would love to get back to that smash mouth, run the ball down your throat type of an offense. And they just do not have the pieces for it right now. Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland and even Kellen Ballage, I think, can be good complementary backs and pass catching maybe, that sort of thing. Complementary, like I said, third down, whatever. But they're not bell cows. I'm sorry to say to all of those guys. I thought Benny Snell might have a shot at being that guy, but I think we found out last year that he's probably not going to be that guy. So that is a huge need, and I think something that they'll address at 24. If a guy like Najee Harris is there, I think personally you pull the trigger immediately. He can play 3 downs, so I would think if Najee Harris is there at 24, the Steelers pull the trigger and absolutely shore up that position. Wide receivers are in a fantastic position with Juju coming back on the cheap. Chase Claypool, I like an absolute ton. Canadian kid. He's a stud in my opinion. Deontay Johnson looked fantastic last year, so they're in great shape there with Eric Ebron as well. I think losing Bud Dupree is massive. That's huge for that defense, and that's something that they rely on is their defense. So they're going to need someone, maybe that's Alex Highsmith. He did get an opportunity to kind of go into that role last year. But I don't know if he's going to be that guy. Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward, and TJ Watt are the guys on this defense. So, you don't need a guy to come in and be a double-digit sack getter, but, maybe 6 to 8, something like that. And maybe that is Alex Highsmith, but you're still going to need depth behind those guys. Cassius Marsh will help, but he's not spring chicken anymore, But other than that, Devin Bush is still one of the best linebackers in the game. Robert Spillane played well last year. Tyson Alualu is back. Like I said, Cameron Hayward and Stephon Tuitt are very, very, very good. On the back end, they could definitely use some help, in my opinion. I think corner is going to be a place of need. Terrell Edmonds and Minka are very good at the safety position, especially Minka Fitzpatrick, one of the best in the game. Joe Hayden's 31. He can still get the job done. He's not quite that shut down, island corner anymore, but he can definitely get the job done. Justin Lane is quality. Cam Sutton is quality, but I think they're going to need to add one or two maybe in this draft. They do have a fair amount of assets that they can plug in guys and create competition and just, make sure that you have the best guys out there week in, week out. So I think there's a fair amount to like about this roster still. I don't think any Steelers fan realistically, when they were sitting at 11-0 last year, was thinking that they're the best team in football. Or even should be an 11-0 team. They did sweep the Ravens in that span, which is pretty impressive. But they lost 4 or 5 to finish out the season and had a tough time. So I still think there's a lot to like with this team, but I think they need to get a running back to rely on and kind of lean on. Ben Roethlisberger was still fairly efficient, 65%. Completion percentage, 3,800 yards, which is interesting because they did not have a 1,000-yard receiver, which is not a bad thing at all. But 33 touchdowns, 10 picks, that's very efficient. And if he can kind of mirror that with a better run game, and as long as the defense is still close to where it was last year, I do not think that it'll be as good, but close to, then, the Steelers are still a playoff team. So we'll see. I mean, I still think that they need to address quarterback as well, whether they do that this year or next. It's absolutely going to happen. They did bring in Dwayne Haskins, which is a very, very, kind of a no-brainer move. It's a great move. He fits a lot of the mold that Ben Roethlisberger is, and I think that he could learn a ton from Ben Roethlisberger, obviously. I feel like this might be his last season. We'll see. Maybe he's got one more. I don't know if the Steelers want him to have another season. We'll see. I don't think Mason Rudolph is that guy at all, and I think they know that, and most people know that. I don't think Mason Rudolph is a starter in the NFL. Okay as a backup, I suppose, but he is not a starter. Dwayne Haskins is going to be that kind of wild card guy. I think what probably happens is he ends up backing up Ben Roethlisberger, and depending on how the season goes, he might get some reps. Whether that, is a good thing or a bad thing remains to be seen. They'll also have to address the offensive line a little bit. Gone are the days where year in, year out, they have the same 5 guys and they're super dominant. That's kind of, that time has passed a little bit. Not that they have an issue on offensive line. It's just that they don't know exactly who's going to be the guys every week, every game for the next 5 years type of thing like they had in previous seasons. So they'll have to add, a guy or two on the O-line, especially I think at tackle. Joe Haig coming in helps out. BJ Finney is, he can help out. Rashad Coward, those kinds of guys, they've played meaningful snaps in the NFL, but I still think that they need to bring in a piece or two, especially at tackle, just to compete and potentially be the guy of the future type of a thing. But we'll see. I mean, there's still a fair amount to like with the Steelers roster. I still think that they can be a playoff team. I just think they absolutely have to address running back first and foremost before they do anything else. And I think at 24, that's where you do it. So in order of need, I think no question running back, a 3-4 outside linebacker, corner, and then offensive line, I think, is how you address the needs for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the 2021 season. So there you go. Thanks for the watch. Appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way out, and we'll see you at the next one.